The long-awaited reunion of Sunny Deol and Akshaye Khanna has finally dropped on Netflix, but how did this one turn out? Let's talk about that. With his daughter's life at stake, a celebrated lawyer must defend a man he suspects is guilty, battling his conscience every step of the way. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I am Nick, and today we're going to be reviewing Ikka, which is the latest film on Netflix. And yeah, this is one that I found out about a couple weeks ago, and I was excited to check this one out. But without further ado, let's just get right into the review. Now, the setup for this film was honestly one that I was all in for, where we established that Arjun does not want to take on the case of Shahraman's attempted murder because of previous character disagreements, and it creates this personal struggle for Arjun, with his daughter going through a very scary health diagnosis, acting as the catalyst to push him into taking on the case. Arjun is played by Sunny Deol, who has played a lawyer before, where he played one in the early 90s. And in this one, it does create a pretty nice character struggle and conflict throughout the whole film, because you have to go, okay, Arjun is a lawyer who is very praised with his reputation and picking innocent clients and hasn't really had to lose a case like this. So you're kind of going, okay, he's picky with what he's going to do and really only picks when he's for sure that the person is innocent. So what happens now that he knows that Shahraman is guilty and has all of that? So what is he going to do to navigate himself through this case? And I think that is a very interesting setup for a courtroom drama. And there are a lot of great moments in this one. And I think a lot of this does go through the characters because of the inner turmoil that Arjun is having, not only going through this case, but with his daughter, because of the severe health crisis that she is going through that is the backbone of everything going on in this movie. And I do think it is Sunny Deol's performance that really brings everything together. He is able to bring out the emotion when he needs to, and that chemistry that he has with Akshaye Khanna is great. That is what a lot of the anticipation was for, because these guys are going to reunite together on the screen after they did have that Border 1 and 2 series in the late 90s that was really big. Now, regarding Akshaye Khanna, he does a fantastic job in this one, and I really did enjoy the performance here and the banter he had with Arjun and everything. Now, there are a lot of times where he is just kind of staring at the screen or like staring at other characters with just like angry expression, the eyebrows down, and dramatic music playing behind him doing that. That happens very often, and I don't think that is a dig on his performance whatsoever. It is more on what the script is asking him to do and just the overall directing style of this movie. And while I think this movie nails the characterizations of everything, and I like the battles between Arjun and Shahraman that I really liked watching, I do think that the execution sometimes can be rough in the story and in the directing itself. Now, the style of this film is trying to bring it back to a lot of 90s Bollywood courtroom dramas where you have a bunch of over-dramatization and very long monologues. I think the monologues from Arjun work. I think he does a great job on those, but it's just the other ones that I feel like the dialogue can often struggle at points, and that doesn't really pair well when there's just these extreme music drops happening that honestly feel more campy in a negative way. I love over-the-top stuff. I very much do. One of my favorite movies of the year is super over-the-top and The Furious, but I think when the style goes bonkers insane, it feels more comedic than it does like really cool. And there are parts of this where with those super intense music drops or some rough dialogue or just the way the camera moves around, it honestly feels more like a sketch comedy series than an actual like drama, like courtroom drama sometimes. And that is mainly in just the way things are delivered and structured in like the specific scenes and everything, which I think can be sort of an issue. Now, if that's your thing, then this movie is going to be right up your alley. But as for me, I wanted a little more seriousness in those moments. And I also thought that the court stuff would also be set back by way too many conveniences for Arjun in the first half of this film, where it felt like the opposing lawyers would just be like just mind-bogglingly make bad decisions through like a bunch of things, and sometimes the witnesses would just be too obviously unsuitable to gain more evidence against Shahraman. And we truly do have a story within here that I think sets us up for a great courtroom drama. It's just that the drama more often than not feels like way too much and ends up reverting to kind of feeling a bit unserious at points, and also the case feeling a bit too easy. Now, I will say that at the end of this movie, it gains so much steam where we get a bunch of deception going on in what Arjun is doing to really pull together this case. And I think it throws some more amazing twists in those last 15 minutes that end this movie on an extremely high note, where you're gonna be like, when the credits roll, you're thinking, wow, that final 20-minute sequence was truly incredible. I wish the rest of the movie was at this level, because it makes you think if they just dial down some of the absurdity just a little bit and spend some time making the court case just a bit more clever in those areas, then I think this really is a hidden gem on Netflix for this year. Instead, it's a film where I see a pretty good movie in the premise and how it sets us up, because again, the character setup here and the conflict that Arjun has to go through with the daughter and not really wanting to do this case but kind of having to make sure his daughter survives, I think that is a really great setup. I just wish the rest of it was able to follow through on making this thing even better than it could be. Now, before I get into my final thoughts, make sure to subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed this review, and like this video if you are excited to watch Ikka this weekend on Netflix. Ikka is a film that establishes a fantastic character struggle for our lead in Arjun and gives us some great on-screen chemistry between Sunny Deol and Akshaye Khanna. While the character stuff is all very well explored, the main case itself can feel a bit too easy for Arjun to navigate through, and the style can sometimes make it feel like a sketch comedy at points, making this one, in my opinion, a bit of a mixed bag. Now, I am going to give this one a 2.5 out of 5. Look, there are some parts of this one where I was really entertained, especially those last 20 minutes or so, but as a whole, there were just too many parts that I thought fell flat and ended up making a movie that I thought could have been great, just kind of a mediocre film on Netflix. So thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this for more movie content, and like this video if you enjoyed the movie, or if you didn't, I would still appreciate a like. Comment down below your thoughts on the film, and I will see you all for the next video.